Hello! This is the contest, Fantasy Footy Show, where our teams look like a scene from MASH. I'm Jesse, I like redraft. With K-Man, he's Jill Hatwinner, we're your hosts. We like fantasy footy. You can follow K-Man on Twitter at K-Man_TC Fantasy, and you can follow me on Twitter at Contest Fantasy. K-Man, mate, good to see you. How you going?
What a weekend. What a weekend. Just when you thought round one was a cracker, round two, it was just, what's that scene in Friends where it's pivot. It was just endless pivot. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Look, I really, despite there not being a Lions game, I really enjoyed watching the footy. I watched most of the games, just about every game this weekend, and I usually don't get the time to do that. But do you know what my favorite game was of the weekend?
Oh, favorite game, was it North Melbourne West Coast?
It was.
Yeah, it was good.
What should have been the worst game of the weekend was absolutely fantastic. And what a long way North Melbourne have to go, hey?
Oh, would you just be kicking, right? You have a win like that, get on the road with the lads. There's a chance they could be, I think I mentioned it last pod, 0-4, 0-5 for the first time, and just couldn't keep up. Couldn't keep up with the West Coast youngsters.
It was interesting, was it? Because they took control of the first quarter by just gassing the pedal to the metal. You know, LDU, Sheasel combined for something like 85 points. It was insane. I thought both of those blokes were in for a 130.
Yeah.
And then I think, obviously, you know, the coach gave the West Coast team a bit of a spray at quarter time, I would imagine. And it just felt like North were not prepared for a comeback. Like their defensive work just was rubbish. They just looked a bit chaotic. I felt like it was two teams playing a bit of chaos ball. It was interesting. It was interesting to see how well they started and then how quickly things kind of fell apart when some pressure came back their way.
Yeah, they couldn't get out of their 50, could they? I think it was the third quarter.
No.
They just could not get out of their defensive 50. And Kirch tried to come back at half back, but obviously doesn't have the match fitness. But there was just no run. There's no run. It just stalled their ball movement, and the ball just kept coming back.
Yep. They had no time to recover. None of their players had any time to recover. I mean, LDU by the end of the game looked absolutely gassed, who I was watching very closely, obviously, because he's in my team. Monster game, 32 disposals, so he probably deserved to be gassed. But like, you know, they looked cooked by the end of it. But still, fun game to watch. It was that's what footy's all about, hey. I haven't got anything to talk about that's I've got no news this week. We watched Chair Company. We watched a bit of Chair Company. Finally, you told me 2 months ago to watch it.
What episode did you get through? One. That's all I want to know. Did you get through episode?
Yeah. We got through one, and I think we started the next one. It is, I mean, it's classic Tim Robinson. Like, it's just insane.
I can't wait for you to watch. I think it's the end of, it's either episode 3 or 4. You'll know. You'll know. You're going to message me and go, what was that?
Oh, it's truly bizarre. I don't know what I was expecting from Tim Robinson in a show, but this is what I absolutely should have been expecting. I'm fascinated to find out if the conspiracy is real or he's just insane.
Well, it's so funny because it seems to be the first show he's in where there's a plot. a crazy plot that there is, but there's a story.
It's a plot. It's a tenuous plot. It almost doesn't exist. Yeah. Oh man. Hey, we got a great pod lined up for you today. We're going around the grounds because there's a ton of injuries that we need to talk about because, as I said, scene from MASH, isn't it? It's like a bloodbath out there.
It was just every game there was something, and big key players. So it's just forced our hand. I changed my trades 3 times over the weekend. I went from a double downgrade to a double upgrade.
which is hilarious, like objectively hilarious, by the way. Like, I just love how you went from on the pod being so, I'm doing a double downgrade. I'm going to take the cash. and I'm going to drop some ranks, and I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Nah, get the boys in there.
Lindsay
Pedal
drops.
to the metal.
Okay. Didn't want Kirsch to lose money, so I ended up bringing in Malira and Lockie Ash.
One of them worked out.
Well, I still didn't mind. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about Malira in a second, but what's his name? Rory Laird's out for 2 weeks.
So he's looking like an interesting trade in, isn't he? Miller. So Lairdy played out the game, didn't he? Did he play out the game, or did he come off towards the end?
He came back on and didn't really move out of the defensive 50. Couldn't really run, and then towards the end, it was like, just come off, young fella.
Yeah, okay.
And funnily enough, Malira went back there and 29-point last quarter.
So we're going around the grounds. We're going to highlight those injuries, talk about them. Then we've got a new segment for you. It's it's our take on segments like fact or fiction, fair or farce, and we've named it yeah, mate, in the in the eternal Australian culture. And then, of course, we're going to finish out with everyone's favorite segment, the trade block. But first up will be obviously Giddy Up and Mike the Phony. Before we get stuck into it, if you dig the content, give us a follow, 5-star rating, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. That was
like you didn't call me a phony.
I
knew it was going to be off.
He started it.
Like, share, sub over on YouTube as well. Okay, Giddy Up and Mike the Phony. This is where we use childish puns to summarize our fantasy week. Let us know your punny best worst of the week on Twitter.
Like you didn't call me a phony.
I thought we'd done it.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to hear it again.
Let us know your punny best and worst of the week on Twitter, and we'll laugh at them on the pod. We put the call out this week. I did remember. Still probably didn't remember as early as I would like, but anyway, K-Man, take it away, mate. Who are your punny best and worst of the week?
All right, I've got 10. No, I don't.
Every week.
So, Giddy Up, I can't believe Vice Butters. I can't believe Vice Butters because of I was looking at, I think in that pod, it was going to be the English patient into Shees, and I just kept looking at McAndrew's stats again, opposing rucks, and I just thought, today's not the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so put the Vice on Butters, and he was awesome. So
everything
stoked about that with a West Coast matchup. It could have gone to Lucky Smash, but I think that's two pretty handy Giddy Ups. And my Mike the Phony this week goes to Darcy Perish. He would be if I had no forced trades this week.
Yeah, Darcy Perish. I like that. Darcy Smellish would be mine if I went to him that way, because boy, oh boy, that was PU. That was stinky. My Giddy Up for the week, Jackson Classy, because, my gosh, he's just sitting back there. He's doing exactly what we thought he'd do preseason. Yep. He's ticking away. He's the general in the back line at St Kilda, and I'm loving every second of it. I actually thought in hindsight.
Well done, you. We talked about it. In the preseason. It's simple. Wang's out. Sinclair's going to hit these tons. And well done to you for sticking to that and putting him as your D1. I went the Rosie route, and it's already buyer's regret. So well done for sticking to your guns and reap the rewards.
It would feel better if I'd gone like Nick Dacos as my M1, but I still have to deal with the Rosie situation in the midfield. And my microphone for the week is Caleb Wins Snore, because, oh my goodness, watching him play is an absolute snore fest. He's just not getting it done back there, and he's a top candidate of mine to get out this week, because somehow we've been blessed and he's only lost like $2,000 in cash overall. Yeah. So he's got to go before he starts bleeding.
Yeah, it's, he's in my trades as of already. As soon as the app opened, Windsor was out. Depending on how these forced trades go, and again, depending if some of these players are left out this week, he does have an okay-ish matchup this week. So if another emergency plays out, I think I'll be okay to give him one more. But he's definitely on the trade block.
Got some follow-up puns. Lockie Blachiston, because it is hard to watch. Who put him on all of our radars, hey? Who put all these Essendon players on our radars? That's what I want to know about it.
Essendon, that is a talking point in itself. They
Oh yeah.
I'd imagine being a fan at the moment would be like being a Tottenham Hotspurs fan. Just the pure frustration of the personnel, game style. It would be a hard watch. So big shout out to those Bombers.
Hard watch. They could not. No, we'll save it for the chat. We'll save it for the chat later. Dylan Blunt.
James Blunt.
Dylan Blunt? Don't know. Dave, you're going to have to explain that one to me, man.
This is a person. I was thinking, what player pun is James Blunt?
Tim Scottish. Instead.
Well played. Well played.
That's good. Dante Invisentini.
Yes. Well played.
Good.
Invisible.
That was good.
Like that. That's very good.
Jack, the only one not sinking my team, but long. I'm rolling with it. It's not quite, doesn't quite meet the brief of a pun, but. Oh, wait, that's Jack Sinclair. I was thinking it was Jack Steele.
Yeah.
Jack, the one not sinking my team.
Yeah,
all right, I'm with you now.
yeah.
Took me a moment. Okay. I got there. And then we got, this is my favorite. This is my personal favorite. Miles Bin the Man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It seems like people are pretty upset this week because none of them gave me a giddy up. They just gave me Mike the Phonies.
All the phonies.
There we go. All the phonies. Should we go around the grounds, talk about these injuries?
Yeah. Do we have, what's the soundbite for that one? Do we have one?
I don't think we have one. Well, we've got your around the grounds. Yeah.
That's it. Maybe we should bring that back. But
oh, I thought you were doing a soundbite. I thought you were doing a.
No, I was.
You are?
Jerry, just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Just looking for excuses to play Seinfeld clips, I reckon, mate.
And would you believe it? That round.
Well,
battery, by the way.
That's all right. I'm filibustering. I actually kind of like that soundbite because it feels like this volume of injuries and the players affected, I kind of want them to just say, it is a lie. I can play through this. I'll be fine. Because, my goodness, my team, not just my classic team, my redraft team is cooked. Nank is my ruckman. Track is my F1.
Oh, he is too.
And then I've lost someone else too. I can't remember who it is, but I've lost someone else. And we're back. Sorry, everybody. My internet cut out. So we're back, and we were at Mason Redmond, and now we're talking about Miles Bergman. Done an ankle. Is he going to be back? I haven't heard about this one.
He came off towards the end of the game. They strapped it. I'd say he'll be back with so much going on. Whether it's going to be a change, whether he's thrust into the midfield or now controls halfback solely. But just to keep an eye on, there's a lot of frustrated coaches out there. So the last thing you want is for Bergman to be 80% fit after what he's dished out so far.
Surely Bergman is a trade candidate anyway, right? Like he's not getting it done. So
no,
yeah. Big Nank has been out, and I've just gotten the notification an hour ago from Keeper. That it is officially his injury has been designated from length to be announced to long-term injury. So, excellent.
He was
Briggsy it is. I know. And now I've got to deal with Briggs again. Oh, he was looking fantastic. He's putting up the points, but now Richmond should be a very green. I mean, Nank's already a greenish matchup, so that should be fantastic, right? Is it Freo next week have Richmond?
I think
Big
so.
Luke Jackson.
So well done. Well done for bringing him in.
Don't tell me this is frozen again. Is
You're
it frozen
back.
again? Oh, I'm back. Oh, this is tenuous, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's rip through. Rip through.
Yeah.
Liver.
Yeah, rip through. I know nothing. You talk about liver.
Could be a couple of weeks for liver, another soft tissue, and then Kalachi. That was tough to watch. He just did spoil of the season earlier, which resulted in a goal for Adelaide, and he tried it again, and unfortunately it's a 4 to 6 week hammy. Boy,
Not
soft tissue.
ideal. Not
It's a talking
ideal.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, is it such a talking
Good
point
segue.
that we should segue into our brand new segment? Yeah, no, yeah, mate. We're workshopping the name. This is the first one. So basically, it's just kind of a rip-off of Fact or Fiction and those similar kind of segments. We've got some statements coming out of this round that we thought were some interesting talking points, and we're going to respond in the Aussie kind. Do we agree with it? Nah, yeah. Or do we not agree with it? Yeah, nah. And the first one off the dome, I think, is this. The AFL are secretly hamstring assassins, and they're coming for players' soft tissue. Yeah, no, or no, yeah, mate.
It's a yeah, nah. Look, a lot of chat about is the new game style with its excessive quick transition ball, changing of direction, the explosive nature of handball receive through stoppage and getting the ball as quickly as you can through corridor and to attacking 50 is contributing to these soft tissues. But you look at some of the age profile of some of those players. I don't know. They're back in 20. It is only the second game of the season. Nank, Libba, Archie, Rory Laird is getting on. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think it's game style, but what it does show is just how long our seasons are. I think for these
way too
players.
long.
So
way too long.
Pre-season is what, late November. You finish in September. It's a mini break. The collisions are bigger. The demands for these players increase every year. So something's got to give in terms of soft tissues and joints and those type of things. So I think it's a perfect storm, but I think it's definitely harder for our higher age profile players just to back up with the intensity of AFL football.
It's an awkwardly sized comp, isn't it? With 18 teams, and we're going to have a 19th team with Tassie coming in, where it's that thing of like, well, if you want everyone to have a good diversity of playing, then you want to have that 25 rounds or 24 rounds or whatever. But at the same time, it's way too long. And I feel like the sweet spot is probably 18 to 20 rounds. So it could be that thing of like, have everyone play each other once, or have everyone play each other once plus, have a couple of extra derbies or something like that. I don't know. But 24, 25 rounds is just an absurdly long season. And from a fantasy perspective, it is a long fantasy season, man. It is a long fantasy season. All right, second one. Pat should not pat. Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah, man.
This is a nah, yeah for mine. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I mean,
we're of course talking about Pat Voss giving Harrison Petty the pat on the little bald spot on his head.
Yeah, that was too far. You can have a joke on the field, but he carried on, and what has Pat Voss done? To warrant an entitled, or what is he entitled to make those types of remarks? I know there's people saying, "Geez, the game's getting a bit soft if he can't do that," but he just carried on way too much. It's not a good look. And,
it was the amount of carry on, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the amount of carry on. It was like, I think if you just do one thing, if it's just a little pat or a little comment and then you move on, that's the game. But it was like the continued kind of probing and provoking that was kind of just not a good look, and people look up to these guys. But Pat Voss, probably prove yourself before you mouth off, mate. Love to have you on the show.
No, I'd love to have you on the show.
Come on down. Harrison Petty as well, mate. Love to have you on the show. Two balding men would love to have a third balding man on the show. Anyway, handball. All right, this one is handball happy midfielders should be sent back to the VFL until they learn to throw it on their boot. Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah, mate.
Yeah, nah. This is the game style now. It's go, go, go. Handball happy. You're talking about LDU, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm talking about LDU.
20?
21 of 32 disposals were handballs. I think of the monster score this could have been.
And let's face it, you got to be good at the handball. Poor Essendon.
It's true.
A handballing and then having to chase in the other direction because they're missing targets.
There was a patch. I remember I was watching that game and it was towards the beginning of the game. There was a patch. It was on. I think it was coming out of Essendon's defensive 50. I think, and there were like 4 handballs that hit the turf in a row.
Yeah.
Like they were under constant pressure and they just could not get a handball to a chest and they just kept hitting the turf. And I just thought, what are these guys practicing at training? What are they doing? What kind of drills are they running?
Yeah.
I understand, like, okay, you know what? Let's lead this into the Essendon one because I want to talk about Essendon. Essendon's problems are more than just great Scott. Great Scott.
Yep.
Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah. So ultimately, is this a coaching problem or is this a personnel problem or is it both or is it a culture problem? What do you see this as?
Well, it's the players who need to handball and hit targets. It's not the coach's fault. I wouldn't expect Brad Scott's put them in a position where all preseason they haven't worked on working congestion, handball out under pressure. So many targets were missed, their foot skills, their handball skills, and then their lack of ability to turn and tackle and chase and hit your one-on-one tackle. So although Brad Scott is come under a lot of scrutiny, it's the players who have to execute those skills. The coach can only do so much. So I just don't think at the moment it's a game style. He has the personnel to implement that game style. And you talk about culture. I mean, they were going to lose Merritt at the end of last year. There was chat about, well, that upset a lot of senior players. I think it's a perfect storm of all of these things going wrong. And they've lost some senior players as well. A number of their good players have been underdone all preseason. Just seems to be this perfect storm of things aren't clicking. And I don't think you just blame the coach for that.
Yeah, look, I don't think you can just blame the coach. I think it would be silly to say that Essendon's list are complete or whatever. Having said that, I would push back a little bit. I think a lot of the responsibility is on the shoulders of the coach in this because it goes to that thing of like you just said, the volume of players who are missing kicks, missing handballs, skill errors, these kinds of things. To me, to some extent, that talks to a coaching issue. Because it's like if it's a cluster of players missing it here, a cluster of players missing it there, and it's those consistent players each time, then I think you can go, okay, that's definitely a personnel thing. But when it's
Brad Scott could handball, but he's not playing.
Maybe he just can't teach people to handball.
No, you got so many players out there. The coach isn't on the field. It's not the coach's responsibility for a 25-year-old AFL player to hit a target with a handball.
Sure.
In the AFL.
Yeah.
So I think some of these players have to take some accountability for it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I don't think Brad Scott's it. I don't think the game style is working. I think the volume of errors that are piling up, I think the coach has to share some amount of blame for that, as well as the list, they're just frustrating to watch, and I really feel for Essendon supporters having to watch that week in and week out as well.
That was a hard watch. Yeah,
really tough. All right, let's do. So we've got 3 more of these to do. Let's do the last non-fantasy one, and then we'll finish with the 2 fantasy-related ones. I just want to throw this one in there. Bulldogs will win the flag in 2026, if not the Lions. Yeah, no, yeah. They look pretty good, don't they?
Good.
The Dogs look excellent. That's true. That's true. And if you can learn anything from Brisbane, it's don't peak early, lose early, and then go on like a 11-game win streak later in the season when it all matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, the Bulldogs had a really good finish. They had that run where you thought, geez, you don't want to play them. Remember they had that run and we were thinking,
they looked excellent.
The Lions don't want to play them. So maybe there was a chat about just getting a bit more consistent footy throughout the season. But they've definitely hit their straps early. I wonder what the liver injury does. But they do look good.
Well, and they look good sans Treloar. So if Libber's out for a little while, I know that they were going to play the slow game with Treloar. Maybe Sanders. Maybe it opens up the door for like a Sanders or a Fraser to take a bigger step forward in the midfield as well. They've got depth. So, I think they're so fun to watch. All right. You've got to sell Christian Petrarca this week. Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah.
Oh, I'm in the yeah, nah.
Me too. Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I don't think I can do it. I think I've got bigger issues. Issues. And Track was going to be on a bye. And my trades at the moment don't include a Petrarca. And there's some interesting players who are on bye this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't go there. You've got a Brian Myers who's very expensive with a tough-ish run. But nah, for mine.
Yeah, nah, me too. I kind of see this week as like you said, he was already going to be on a bye anyway. You were kind of prepared to be without him, and so I see this as an opportunity to replace Rosie with a like for like or someone with a bit of value, but also fix something else up. We've all got a Parish. Many of us have a Windsor. I've got an Archie Roberts. Like we've all got lots of potential issues that we've got to fix, and there are still a couple of rookies who look like they could be the goods as well, who we'll talk about soon.
Yes.
Last one, we overthought the rucks, and now we're in a bit of a bother. Yeah, nah, or nah, yeah.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Sherry, we talked about that run. Well, he's using that run to his advantage, and Big Maxi Gorn just looks mint.
Oh, when is he going to fall off? Is he ever going to fall off? Like it's got to come sooner or later.
Because during the game, the commentary was, Max Gorn, he's not getting around ground that well, but I don't know, he still took the intercept marks.
He just looks like Max Gorn to me.
He completely out-rucked L-Jax. Just destroyed him. 28 hitouts. 28 hitouts and 13. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Thanks.
And 23
Appreciate
disposals. That. 11 marks. Max Gorn, Tristan Sherry. There's your set and forget.
Dang it. But we said this. We said this in the preseason. I had this feeling. I was like, I think we're just overthinking this. And that's not to say that there isn't stuff to be seen in the data. Stoppages are down. Ruck scoring is probably, I'd say, going to be more volatile in general. But these guys are still going to be capable of these massive ceiling games. And your Sherry, he's still going to take advantage of this golden run at the beginning of the season. Max Gorn is still going to be Max Gorn, especially Max Gorn. The other what it is about Max Gorn? It's the intangible stuff as well. Like, not only is he just a fantastic footballer, but it's the fact that he is such an elite captain that he's a captain of a young team, and when they need him, he will put them on his back and he will carry that team to where it needs to go. And I just think it's that intangible stuff that you just go, you can't account for. And he's just going to explode when that needs to happen. Yeah. Because he's Max Gorn.
And their players are okay to go with him as well through transition. You do see some players, they look at the ruckman and go, nope, and they go to someone else. But it's Maxi, they're just going. They trust his foot skills, his handball skills, and he just accumulates. I mean, there's 2 games now over 20 possessions as well as 30 hitouts. So Max Gorn, GOAT, absolute GOAT.
Absolute GOAT. I was about to say he's the GOAT. It's fantastic. Should we do the trade block? Get in the trade block?
Yeah, trade block. It's not the one with the... no,
it's not the Jamaican drums.
Yeah. It's the Green Day.
You do miss the Jamaican drums, though, don't you?
I do.
You do.
It's still, yeah.
We can mix it up. We can mix it up. Use both. All right. This is the segment everyone really cares about. Who do you need to fix up? Who needs to get out of here? Who needs to come in? What do we need to do? Tell us. I've been playing around with so many names today. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I got lots of options, but I guess we should start with the two big ticket items: Connor Rozee, Christian Petrarca. Let's start with Connor Rozee. Who are the fix-up targets in your mind that coaches should be going after to move on from Rozee?
Well, it's a strange part of the season where we've been preaching for 2 seasons now. You just don't pay up for these top price players. But at the moment, in a best 18 scenario where guns and rookies seems to take advantage of the first 5 rounds, Sinclair, Ash, Zorko, Josh Dacos, these are the guys who are scoring at the moment. We're trying to find players of value who can have upside, but there just aren't any at the moment. We mentioned Jaden Short. He's now expensive. Pretty much you would think that 3/4 of the competition have Houston or could buy Houston, but I can see a lot of coaches paying up for some of these big guys. Zorka has an amazing run coming up. Sinclair's been killing it. Lockie Ash just had, was it almost 40 disposals?
Something ridiculous.
Something ridiculous. And Josh Dacos has gone to another level. So these are the areas I see a lot of coaches looking at if it's going to be a straight swap in your defensive line.
Would you rather do a straight swap and come out with essentially, break even in the bank? Or would you rather look at this as an opportunity of, okay, we did the thing where we started a guy like Connor Rozee who maybe didn't have a ton of value. He was a pretty top-end player in terms of price. Is this an opportunity to recalibrate and look at a name like Jaden Short or look at a name like Josh Dacos, for example, and go slightly cheaper, maybe a little bit more actual value than, say, a Sinclair or an Ash or especially a Zorko, who I think is the most expensive option at the moment. For me, it's like Houston first, and then if you've already got Houston, would you shop in those value spots before doing it, or would you just go like for like?
If I was going to rank them, it would definitely be Houston if you haven't got number 1, Josh Dacos 2. I'm a massive Jaden Short fan. I've always been a Jaden Short fan. He did burn me, whether it was last year or the year before.
He was injured last year, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. He did have a period where he couldn't string all those games together.
Yeah.
And Lockie Ash would be 3 for me, just by the pure nature at which GWS are struggling at the moment through defensive transition and the amount of ball that he gets. Lockie Ash carried their second half and got them into a position where they could have taken it late.
All right, Christian Petrarca. So I think you and I are both on the train of wait until next week, because by waiting until next week and holding Christian Petrarca through this week, that gives you the flexibility to fix up certain guys that we'll talk about in a moment. So we're going to talk about some names that may be available this week. So if you are looking to move on from Christian Petrarca this week, there are a couple of guys here you could go to in the forward line. But if you are also looking to hold him until next week, we've got a couple of names that will be available then as well. So take me through these ones, K-Man. What are the 4 names that we've got here at the moment?
Yep. So coming off his bye, we have Brian Myers. Had that breakout last year where he just seems to transition where he likes, floats up to stoppage, can drop in defensive 50 to help out in those pocket areas, looking for transition. He's had 2 really good games. He does come up against Adelaide at Cardinia Park, and there are some tougher matchups. He's very expensive, but I think he's going to have that floor of 90, 95 with some spike games. He does need to kick a couple with those spike games as well. A lot of people on X have already suggested a Brian Myers, and Jack Ross is the other one who doesn't have a bye. Straight into that Richmond midfield, and averaging, was it 90?
90 and a
You
half.
picked up the average, 90 and a half, 795K. So you could use that money elsewhere, take it into some weeks and fix up later on a Windsor, a Parish, a Blackiston or a Bergman. I guess in that forward line, you'd take a 90 and a half at the moment.
So there's a quick question for you. Okay, let's say Rosie moved to one of Jacos or Ash. Let's say you already have Houston, move him to Jacos or Ash, and then Track move to Jack Ross, and that might leave you with 150K in the bank to take into next week. Would you rather do that, knowing that you've got a field, say, a Darcy Parish, a Caleb Windsor, a Lockie Blackiston, or would you rather do what we were kind of alluding to and go, no, I'll sort out Rosie, I'll get in an Ash or a Jacos or whatever, and I will fix a Darcy Parish or I will fix a Caleb Windsor because those guys are going to lose money? Do you take the points or do you take the money and stick to process?
I think it depends on what you've got. So there are some coaches out there who have Bergman, Windsor, Parish, and Blackiston.
Yeah.
And if you've got, 3 out of those names, I would prioritize moving one of those with Petrarca scheduled for a bye. If you're in a position where you don't have that many fix-ups, then it could be an opportunity to use a Jack Ross, use the money the following week, and then use that as a fix-up because we've had so many injuries now. I think we're going to have to start thinking about what does your trade look like next week? What does your trade look like the week after before we really start hitting upgrade season and getting to completed teams. So it depends on what fix-ups you still have to go because after this round, probably next round is your last opportunity for fix-up trades. And then we need to start seeing some upgrade trades happening. So that's how I'd prioritize it.
And then your options, if you are going to hold Christian Petrarca, is you've got and I guess Murphy Reed was another name as well, although he had to kick a couple of goals, didn't he?
Yeah, he did have to kick 2. Like he had 20-odd disposals, but he had to kick 2 goals to get to that 80 score bracket. Hayden Young obviously enabled Murphy Reed to get around ground a bit more. I was expecting a few more CBA attendances, I must admit. And with Young probably coming back in 2 to 3 weeks, it's a play, but I wouldn't expect 90 to 100 scores each week.
If you're willing to wait till next week to fix up Track, then you could jump on a C-Mac. K-Man thought I was being mean by I kind of described him. I just mean not him as a player, but in terms of this season, he's kind of like a discount. He's like a discount Brian Myers, I reckon. He's averaging 84. I did say Timu Brian Myers originally.
Love to have you on the show, C-Mac.
I want to be clear. I am C-Mac's biggest fan.
You are.
I am a massive supporter.
You fanned him for 2 seasons now.
100%. I was calling for it. And he's doing exactly what he did in the back end of that 2024 or 3 season or whatever it was right now. I just don't think he's got the ceiling that Brian Myers does. And I actually don't know that that's his fault. I think it's probably more down to Hawthorn's system and Hawthorn's structure. Brian Myers is almost more like your Nick Martin in a way, isn't he? Where he's just everywhere all the time, floating into stoppage. And I just don't know that C-Mac gets as much opportunity in that Hawthorn system. But he's certainly got a similar role in terms of floating in off that half-forward line. So he's doing fine. Average of 84. I think he'll be a bit volatile. I think he'll probably give you some scores below 80, and he might give you a couple of like low 90 scores as well. But he's an option if you're willing to wait on the Track fix-up.
What I will say is when we're thinking about the Jack Ross areas, the Guns and Rooks approach is looking great at the moment because these ceiling scores are getting coaches into top 15,000. I think once best 18 is over, and we just saw on the weekend, Grill, again, your Blackiston, Lockie Jakes was good, but I think those teams are going to be exposed if they haven't made some upgrades between now and then. So I still think we need to emphasize shopping in these areas and looking for upside so that we can have a greater depth across the squad once best 18 is finished.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if some of the current top 500 odd teams remain in that top 500 space, or whether the scales tip. Not that I am any threat to the top 500. We've got some rookie or mid-price of fix-up as well. So we're looking at names like Miles Bergman, Caleb Windsor, Darcy Parish, Lockie Blackiston. If you had to rank these names, do you have feelings about what order they need to go in, or is it just purely down to who you've got?
Windsor's number one for mine. Just the lack of tackle numbers, the lack of ability to take marks, and his fitness level at the moment doesn't seem to be at the level that we'd expect from a midfielder who trained there pre-season. He's going to start losing money. I think he only just fell short of his break even. What I will say is he has a friendly-ish matchup against the Blues. So if you, and Blackiston's my number two, if you're more worried about getting rid of a Blackiston, perhaps a Windsor might pull out 60, 70, 80 against the Blues compared to a Blackiston who's going to start hitting some seasoned rucks as of next week. So they would be my 1 and 2. I don't have a Bergman, so I probably don't have the same investment. But he again is a player that I think you can start getting rid of. But does a Rosie injury give him more scope to be a permanent midfielder, a controller, half-back? Maybe that's why I've got him at a 3.
I think the issue is, though, that you'd have to take such a risk to see another week, wouldn't you? Like if you go, oh, yeah, maybe that could change things, but then it doesn't, and he gives you another 40, I mean, he's just going to start bleeding cash. But
they do have West Coast, so if there's going to be a game, you could wait a week. It's against the Wiggles.
This one. All right,
and Parish. Finally, well, I just think they're bigger issues in Parish.
Yeah, and I think as well, sometimes it can come down to who's worth the most amount of money and who's going to be worth the most amount of money for a while as well. Parish at least still has some potential upside. You could still see a world where Parish comes out with a decent score, and he's still worth over 750 grand. So he's going to be worth over 700 grand that you can put towards a different trade next week, where like Blackiston is that super awkward price at the moment. He's 404K. So he's only put on 5K. And he's going to start dropping cash from this week. So, if you don't move on from him this week, your kind of only opportunity to get rid of him is with a true downgrade. And, who is that? Who's a downgrade target that's worth less money than him? That's tricky space to be shopping in. Must have rooks. Todd Marshall, Milan Murdoch, the Daredevil, Watkins, Gothard, and Willem Dersma. These are those rooks that maybe not all of them are must-haves, but these are the ones you should be targeting as your downgrade options or your fix-up options.
Yeah, Todd Marshall, I mean, he is 433K, but he just showed on the weekend a pretty easy 80. His run, West Coast, Richmond, St Kilda. So if you have him, some coaches were worried. Stick fat, I think he's going to have some really good scores. Is that too much of an awkward price for 33K? A lot of coaches did carry over some coin. He is going to make, I would say, up to 200K if he gets those 80 scores over the next 3 rounds. So just a player I thought we should mention. 433, have you missed it for that price, do you think?
Look, I don't know. You probably have. But maybe not. I mean, you could drop a track all the way down to a Todd Marshall, and then you've got an absolute armada of cash to put towards some other upgrade, and take some more cash into next week to do another decent upgrade then as well. So
it's an easy Blackiston then to a Jacos, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And so, and that's what you were talking about earlier, is like start thinking about what our trades look like next week. If you move on both a Connor Rosie and a Christian Petrarca this week, and you can bring in an Ash or a Houston for for Rosie, and then you can bring in Todd Marshall, then you're going to be able to get whoever you want next week, and you might have a couple of names that you can do something with. But it's also a pretty aggressive move as well. But this will be the last week that you can hide behind these best 18 weeks where you could potentially pull something like that off as well. Probably don't need to talk about him too much, but Milan Murdoch again pulled out another great score, so you got to get him in. I started with the guy. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, you did.
Started with him, although you know who I missed as a result was Selwood, because Selwood went, Murdoch came in.
Yeah, I'm stoked with Selwood. He's just been sitting there, just plugging away with his 60s.
Doing his thing.
Yeah, he's just doing his thing. That's why we got these players in. It's to make money.
What's Watkins' first name? Is it Matt? Watkins. Sounds British. What? No, it's not Matt. It's Jack. It's Jack Watkins.
Jackie boy.
Jack Watkins. Okay, well, Connor Rosie out. Job security's got to be pretty good, surely, for Jack Watkins now. 324K. He's 25 years old, so he's that mature age that we really like. He came in and he scored 95 on the weekend with only 64% TOG. Is this a guy that you would say is in fact a priority as a midfield option?
If you don't have a Murdoch, I think he's a really good rookie to bring in. And if you're doing a rookie fix-up, shall we say, this week, he's talked about that, 95. So that's banked into his price cycle. Rosie out. I'm sure Ollie Wines is going to come back in, but with I think it was a 50-point finish to the game. He had plenty of midfield time, so I think it's a really good option as a rookie.
So who would you prioritize between? Like, I would say Murdoch is above both of these names, but if you're looking at, if you missed both Dersma and Watkins, do you have a preference for who you're going after in that regard?
Watkins for mine, purely with the 95. He's cheaper, job security. Dersma's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be volatile from game to game purely because it's West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a younger rookie. He seems to be stuck on a wing at times. He moves back at times. Whereas if I think of Watkins can shore up some midfield minutes, being cheaper, the break even, he would be.
The break even's insane, isn't it? Negative 29. Dersma's still got a really good break even. So if you brought in Watkins, but you don't have Dersma and you already have Murdoch, I doubt many people would have Murdoch and Watkins, but not Dersma. But if you are one of those people, I guess he's an option if you're potentially looking, but probably full up on mids. And then Gothard, Phoenix Gothard. So he did really well too. What was it, like an 83 or something like that he came out with?
Yeah. Fams was big on Gothard pre-season.
He wasn't he?
Got a score. Yeah. He did look good. He looked good in forward 50, took some marks, shots on goal as well. And he also came up to stoppage front half. So for those who started, well done. And this might be the last week that you could get a Gothard in, I think.
I mean, it could be one of those ones where, I don't know if Leo Lombard's on his bye, but he's still got a pretty good break even, so you probably wouldn't want to waste a trade there. If you didn't move on from like a Shy Gallup last week, maybe you could move on from him this week to get a Gothard in or something like that. The tricky thing about the forward line is that our forward lines are so deep, really, in terms of like everyone's got Devrov at either F6 or F7. So there's not that much space for another forward rookie when there's all these other rookie options to try and get in. But he's an option as well. You've added another name at the last second.
Yes. Did you watch Sherry for Freo?
I didn't know.
He was great. He
was too focused on L-Jacks.
Good. I don't think he scored great, but his ability to back himself and to run through contest, he's quick and he had great feet. So that was his debut match, and a lot of pundits said, well, he's not going anywhere. So a really cheap rookie, especially in a forward line where, I don't know, Dobeston hasn't really kickstarted his cash gen. So if we're looking to move places the next couple of weeks, Sherry could be a downgrade target.
We done? Is that it?
Yeah.
Think we're done. Tight. Under an hour. Love it. You can follow K-Man on Twitter at K-Man_TC Fantasy. You can follow me on Twitter at Contest Fantasy. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, subscribe, like all that jazz. Next episode will be our second trade therapy of the season, and I have a feeling we are absolutely going to need it. We'll chuck a little thread out there on Twitter so you can share all of your questions, or you can ask all of your questions that you'd like us to answer in the pod, and we will have that episode released on Friday morning in time for your commute. You playing the song? I'm out of things to say.
It didn't do it.
Didn't take.
It went that light grey and then just went, no, I'm not doing it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Well, weather's good today. Weather was good today.
Lovely.
Weather was good.
I'm off
nice
hiking tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Hiking, canoeing.
Out there. Yeah, like it. Let me know how it goes. See you later.
Here we go, pivot.